Don't make us heroes. You have to view us as simply servants of Christ. We are his slaves. And we have been entrusted with the stewardship, managing the mysteries of God. Now let me explain what the word mystery means. Mystery in the Greek means something hidden, now revealed. Something hidden, now unveiled. Meaning, God has now revealed, unveiled his will, his word, his purpose for your life, and he has sent us to make it known to you. So what Paul is saying is, I'm a slave of Christ who's been sent to make known to you the mysteries, things that God has now revealed and disclosed and wants you to know. Okay, you got it? Is that what Paul is saying? So what is your attitude towards us? How should you view us? Not as heroes and champions, as servants sent to serve you by making known to you what God has now revealed. Right? You got it? In this case, moreover, it is required of servants that one be found faithful. See? Faithful. That's what faith is. The faith that saves is being faithful. Faithful to the Lord and doing what the Lord commands. Practicing what you preach, I think. But to me, it is a very small thing that I may be examined by you or by any human court. Now, look what he's saying here. To me, I could care less if you sit in judgment of me, and I could care less if human courts sit in judgment of me, because I could care less for what you think of me and what human courts think of me, because what matters is the divine court. What matters is the divine judge and his verdict upon you. You understand? Because at the end of the day, it's not the human court that matters. It's the divine court, the heavenly court, and what the divine judge says of me that matters. So you can say what you want. You can call me a hero. You can call me a heretic. Even if you say I'm a hero, that doesn't mean I'm acquitted. Even if you think I'm a saint, that doesn't mean you're right and that I am. Because you may think I'm a saint, but I'm actually a heretic in the eyes of the Lord. At the end of the day, it's God's verdict that matters. You see the point, right? This is what Paul is saying. This is what Paul is saying. I could care less if you want to examine me and pass judgment, because your opinion means diddly squat. Now look at this. This is another thing. Doctrine teaches us to be humble. In fact, I do not even examine myself. You know what it means? I don't even trust my own assessment of my faithfulness, because I may be deceived. I may deceive myself. I may think I'm pleasing to the Lord, but that's part of the deception. For I am conscious of nothing against myself, yet I'm not by this acquitted. Very powerful. You know what he's saying right here? I'm not aware of anything in my life that would make me blameworthy and bring me under judgment. But that doesn't mean I'm right. I may be deceived. I may be ignoring things in my life that displease the Lord and focusing on the good things that I do, which is why I don't even trust my own assessment of my walk with the Lord. See how deep this is? See what he's saying here? You understand what he's saying here? I may be deceiving myself. I may be fooling myself. I may overlook those areas in my life that are not right with God, that are displeasing the Lord, and focus on those things that are praiseworthy. That's why I don't even trust my own assessment of my life. So then what does he say? But the one who examines me is the Lord. That's why I don't care for your opinion. I don't care if you think I'm a saint or a heretic. I don't care what these other channels say or other Catholics say about me. Your opinion means shat. And I don't trust my own assessment. So I'm always crying out for mercy. Lord, don't give me what I deserve. I plead your mercy. Because it's the Lord who will come. Now, here's the key. Here's the key. Not only will he judge you for what you've done, but he'll judge you for why you did it. Therefore, do not go on passing judgment for the time. Hold off your judgment, assigning someone to heaven or hell. Because that's not your prerogative. And you may think someone is heaven bound and he goes to hell. And you may think someone's hell bound, you end up in hell and he ends up in heaven. Hold off on passing judgment. But wait until the Lord comes, who will both bring to light the things hidden in the darkness and make manifest the motives of the hearts. There it is. He's going to reveal everything you've done in secret. Everything you've done when no one was watching. Everything you've done when you thought you're alone and no one was observing, but heaven was observing. Demons were observing. That's why I say try to be as honest and transparent. And don't be fake with people. But don't be stupid. You can't just open up to anyone because there are wolves who want to see you destroyed. Right? But what will he also do? He'll also reveal your motives. Why did you feed the homeless? Why did you give money to the church? Why did you give money to the ministry? Why did you preach and debate? Did you do it because you wanted to see me glorified and magnified and people strengthened? Or did you do it because you wanted to be a hero in the eyes of many? He's going to reveal that. And then each one's praise will come to him from God. See the key right here? All right. Still not certain that the Lord will judge your intentions behind your deeds? All right. Let's see here. And what should your attitude be towards those in ministry? Are they your heroes? No, they are your servants. Here's what David warns Solomon. 1 Chronicles 28, verse 9. As for you, my Solomon, know that the God of your father, and serve him with a whole heart and delighted soul. For Yahweh searches all hearts and understands every intent of the thoughts. He's looking at your intentions. Why are you preaching? Why are you giving money to ministries or to the poor or to churches or to missions? Why are you praying lengthy prayers in front of people? Why are you out there in front of people protesting the murder of unborn children? Are you doing it out of pure love for me and love for others? Or are you doing it for show and attention so that the people looking at you will think that you're a super spiritual Christian? Are you doing it for position and status because you want more numbers and subscribers? See right there. If you seek him, he'll be found. But if you forsake him, he'll reject you forever. Right? Because we're tainted, we're corrupted. I'm corrupted. Low self-esteem, right? Body dysmorphia will cause me to want attention and praise, which I got to constantly rebuke myself for hearing it. Because I know Satan's strategy. He wants me to believe the praise so I can then feel good about myself and get puffed up. And knowing that, I have to rebuke my flesh and ask the Spirit to rein me in and constrain my flesh. I'm not a super Christian, man. I wish I was. Here's how you're supposed to view us. Ready? 2 Corinthians 4:5. For we do not preach ourselves. We don't talk about how great we are and our exploits and where I went like James White does. James White, 90% of his talk is about how great he is, how wonderful he is, where he's been to, where he's traveled, and he even preached in a mosque in Africa by the Mimbar. We do not preach ourselves, right? James White will tell you how great he is, that he teaches church history on a seminary level and he teaches Greek. We don't talk about ourselves. We don't talk about our exploits. We don't talk about what we've done. Because if we've done it for Christ Jesus our Lord, let the Lord know what we've done. Let the Lord take account our deeds. Let him delight in our deeds, and let him reward us for what we've done, and not seek the praise of men. You with me there? We do not preach ourselves, but Jesus Christ as Lord. The entire focus of my ministry is about the lordship of Jesus. Reveal him, make him known, tell you who he is, what he's done, what he's all about, so you can get to know him more intimately, know him more perfectly, and love him more completely. All right? So then what do we say about ourselves? And ourselves as your slaves for the sake of Jesus. I'm your servant. All right, now how do you cure hypocrisy? Let me go into that, but let me show you two more. Even angels, you know what they say? Don't make a big deal about us. Don't make a fuss about us. Here, angels, look. Let me unpack this, and then we're going to get into the topic. You guys don't mind if I unpack this, right? And I wanted to talk about Thomas Aquinas' insight. The more I learn about him, the more I see how amazing he is. Because he's still alive with the Lord. All right. You ready? 1 Corinthians 2, verses 1 to 2. And when I came to you, brothers, I did not come with superiority of word or of wisdom, proclaiming to you the witness of God. For I determined to know nothing among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. You see why you pray, Holy Spirit, fill us as you fill Paul. See that? What did Paul say? I'm your slave. I don't talk about myself. I'm here to proclaim Jesus Christ as Lord. So a true teacher of God, a minister of God, will do all he can to speak as much as possible about Jesus Christ and do all he can to avoid speaking about his exploits. That's how you're going to know a fake from a real one. It's right here. And remember he said, we are your slaves for the sake of Christ. Look at what righteous angels say. Revelation 19:10. Look at what righteous angels say, brethren. Then I fell at his feet to worship him, the angel. But he said to me, do not do that. I'm a fellow slave with you. I'm a slave like you, and I'm a slave like your brothers, who comes to testify about Jesus. Even righteous angels preach Christ crucified. It's all about Christ, not them. Worship God, for the witness of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. The heart of your preaching should be Jesus. The heartbeat of preaching is about Jesus. The essence, the lifeblood of your preaching is Jesus. It's all about him. See it? Revelation 19:10? All right. Revelation 22:8-9. Still not convinced, huh? I, John, am the one who is hearing and seeing these things. And when I heard and saw, I fell down to worship at the feet of the angel who showed me these things. Again, John did this twice. Now, what do you learn from this example? How deep you want me to go into these examples? John lapsed to the verge of committing idolatry not only once, but twice. He does it a second time. So he needs to be rebuked a second time. I, John, am the one who is hearing and seeing these things. And when I heard and saw, I fell down to worship at the feet of the angel who showed me these things. This is now the second time he came close to committing idolatry. Now, why do you think the Lord recorded this? As a reminder, even the best of saints can commit the most horrendous sins, and even the best of saints can fall short of the glory of God and disappoint you, so that even an apostle almost lapsed into idolatry not only once but twice, which is a reminder of the Lord that as great as he is, and you take everything he tells you that's from the Lord, you do not idolize him, because he too is a man who can fail you on this side of glory. So why are you shocked that there'll be popes who will do some horrendous things? And so twice John has to be rebuked and told, but he said to me, do not do that. But didn't he tell you that the first time, John? Yeah. You don't learn your lesson? No, because as long as John was on earth, as long as John was down here struggling with sin, that sinful proclivity would always tempt him to succumb. But now John is perfected. He finished the race. He's sinless. Now we can look to him as an example. Right? Before I put you guys to sleep. But he said to me, do not do that. I'm a fellow slave with you and your brothers, the prophets, and with those who keep the words of this book, worship God. Worship God. So did you notice? Even righteous angels say, I'm your slave. I'm a slave with you. And the prophets, we are slaves of Christ. It's all about Christ, glorifying Christ, proclaiming Christ, making Christ known. Not about us. We direct it all to Christ. See? That's a mark of someone who's seeking to be a true teacher of God. Right? Now, how do you cure hypocrisy? Matthew 6:18. Beware of doing your righteousness before men to be noticed by them. There you go. Otherwise, you have no reward with your Father who's in heaven. So if you fear you're being a hypocrite, you're doing it for the praise of men, then what you do? Therefore, when you give to the poor, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and the streets, so that they may be glorified by men. Do it in secret. Do it when no one else is watching. Do it in secret. Do it when no one else is watching. Don't advertise it. Don't announce it. Don't go TikTok, Instagram Live, or Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and show, look at it, we're out here. Right? Truly, I say to you, they have their reward in full. You already got your reward because you wanted to praise the men. You ain't going to get no reward from God. But when you give to the poor, listen here, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Don't even tell your left hand. That's how secret you should be, so that your giving will be in secret. And your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. That's the cure to hypocrisy. That's the cure to heal a heart full of hypocrisy. When you pray, right, you're not to pray like the hypocrites. For they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and the street corners so that they may be seen by men. Truly I say to you, they have their reward in full. Let me open up the entire chapter, because it even talks about when you fast. Don't pray publicly if you know you struggle with hypocrisy and you're doing for the praise of men. Truly I say to you, they have their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your inner room. This is how you cure hypocrisy. Go into your inner room. When if you shut your door, pray to your Father who's in secret, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you are praying, do not use meaningless repetition. Words that have no substance. Words that aren't anchored in divine truth, as the Gentiles do. For they suppose that they'll be heard for their many words. Therefore, do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. Right? What about fasting? Now, whenever you fast, do not put on a gloomy face. Why do you think I got angry at that guy? Hey, yeah, you want weight control, you want to lose weight? Do it Wednesdays and Fridays. In other words, not only in his arrogance, he's boasting that he fasts Wednesdays and Fridays, but he's even telling me to do it for the wrong motive. See why I got angry? So not only did he advertise that he fasts Wednesdays and Fridays because he's super spiritual, because, he's like Paul, super spiritual, but he's even telling me to do it for the wrong motives. Right? Now, whenever you fast, do not put on a gloomy face as the hypocrites do. There are some people who can't help it, like King Silv. He looks gloomy right? Whether he's happy or sad, whether he's stuffing his face or not. So you're going to have a problem, King Soph. You always look gloomy. Or they neglect their appearance so that they'll be noticed by men when they are fasting. Truly, I say to you, they have their reward in full. You got your reward, the praise amen. That's what you wanted. But you, when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face. Anoint your head. They would put oil in their hair. That was like hair gel back then. And they'd wash their face so that your fasting will not be noticed by men, but by your Father who's in secret. And your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you.